Top right-hand corner. It's 2,000 atmospheres. It's the Gumi God himself from Psystorm Gaming. And his opponent, looking to qualify for the King of Battles 3, playing for the Kwandong Freaks. It's his Trap. I remembered it like the last second. It's not the Afrika Freaks anymore. It's the Kwandong Freaks. The last second. All right. It's been a bevy of Protoss can't do this. Protoss can't do that. Protoss can't qualify. And look at GSL. I suppose that's a little spoilery. I will hesitate. But it is starting to become a Protoss world, which is really, really good. And one of the people responsible for making that happen is the man in blue, Mr. Trap himself. So Trap looking to try and add to the short list. I think it's safe to say it's a short list of Protoss who have already qualified. Classic, Hero, Max Packs. Currently the only 3. We won't count how many Zerg players because it'll just be ammo. But it is 7. 7 Zerg, 3 Protoss, 2 Terran. Only Clem and Cure so far. Well, I guess Maru. Because Maru's automatically qualified into the main event because he is the 2-time reigning King of Battles. It just would be silly to not automatically invite Maru to his own event. Okay, Trap still out on the map here with that probe. I think it is just doing a little bit of additional scouting. Yeah, but look at GUMIHO here. GUMIHO going for a nice little Marauder push here. Getting concussive shells off of his barracks. Going to pick up a second barracks as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see an additional tech lab go down onto it. And it's actually going to be 3 barracks in total. So it's going to be 3 racks before factory. And he's going to show his first Marauder. So yeah, Trap's going to just immediately get back home. Be interesting to see what kind of response Trap wants to go for in response to the scouting that he was able to do here. But able to finish up. His Marauder upgrade now does go into Stim Pack as well. So this is going to be a bit of an aggressive timing for GUMIHO, who will start investing into his bio production here. We are starting to see the Marines go marching 2x2. And we are getting a reactor as well. Now, Trap has an opportunity here to maybe sit on this aggression before it's able to materialize. He does get an Oracle out onto the map. And he is pushing forward with some Adepts as well. 3. So able to 1-tap workers on 3 count. They're definitely going to be able to put a lot of damage down onto the Marauders as well. And as he gets on top of both of those Marauders right away, those are going to immediately be deleted from the game. And now all of a sudden, Trap in a nice position to try and deal some damage. However, running out of energy on his Oracle will only be able to pick up just a little bit more. 4 workers do go down, but it does take out a decent amount of army here for GUMIHO. 2 Marauders and 4 Marines going down. That takes a lot of teeth out of his push. And if he cut a lot of resources to make this work, that is definitely going to slow the Terran player down, as now he's going to have a difficult time dealing with the second Oracle here, as the Adepts are going to dive on into the natural mineral line once again. A few more workers do go down, 3 in total, but there are Marines up in the main base, so that is not going to be long-lasting damage for the Protoss player, but did allow Trap to get his 3rd base down and start making a slight transition here, as he does get the Twilight Council underway as well. So the reality of the situation here is that Trap is able to capitalize on this, and he is able to keep all of his Oracles alive, at least for right now, but he is going to fly right over top of Bio. Thankfully, does not stim forward. Trap able to back off, but GUMIHO now does eliminate a little bit of the forward aggression of his opponent. So being able to bring this across the map could be a good situation, especially since right now no shield battery at the front of that third base. I think one did just finish up, so there will at least be a little bit of a defense to play with. This time the Bio's not going to quite catch these oracles out of position, so these will be able to get additional damage done. They got to be careful. The Bioforce does stem forward this time around. Is it going to be able to be enough? No, just out of reach. Not quite able to clean that up. But now this is kind of a markedly interesting point at this point in the game. Right now, GUMIHO does not have a third base, doesn't have one in production, does not have one on the field. So this now becomes a increasingly worrying moment for the Terran player, who needs to kind of capitalize on a moment here. Does have +1, which is helpful. So that does give him a little bit of an advantage. Only now getting the third base down is GUMIHO, but he has to make something work with this army count advantage that he's got going, because right now Trap up 10 workers, does have an additional base as well, but the reality is the army's not quite there. 9 stalkers, but against a sizable amount of bio, that's going to be difficult to try and deal with. Okay, Good Scan's going to go down and see the sentry back behind, the stasis traps as well. But overall, that is just going to allow Trap the opportunity to continue being defensive. GUMIHO really needs to find some damage here. So it's all good things for the Protoss player right now. As both players looking to try and posture themselves in this series, would love to get up 1-0 in this best of 3 on this qualifying match. Okay, Trap gonna kind of bring himself out. He does have blink, so he is going to be able to retreat when necessary, but wants to stay on top of where this army may or may not be converging. The oracles are just gonna zip on by. So instead of trying to tag the army, they are gonna try and find a little bit of damage across the map. This is, oh, that ends up being a really good diversion there, using the hallucinated Phoenix to drag that mine, and that does open up at least a little bit of vulnerability. GUMIHO sits with his main army out in the middle of the map, but there's not a whole lot happening here. Oh, that stasis trap is going to expire, so that is a bit of a concerning moment here. I mean, Trap's not going to be able to utilize his oracles on this side of the map, and one does get popped, so now that means GUMIHO does have a free path into the natural should he want to take it. Seems like these armies are going to try and converge, but is there enough bio to deal with all of these units? Great force fields go down for the Marines to be blocked backwards, so that means Trap's going to be a little bit more positional. And it does buy him enough time. Psystorm now complete. I think there are a few. Yeah, we've got a few of those High Templar now posturing with some energy. This Bioforce is going to have to be careful. All right, so the fourth base going to start getting situated here. Once again, GUMIHO is going to stay behind on the base count, but does try to stay ahead on the aggression. Does have +1/+1 +2 infantry weapons on the way. There goes his fourth base, so I guess GUMIHO's not going to be super far behind on the base count. Nice little run by of Zealots here, though. Deflects this army away from the fourth base location. It seems like Trap would like to continue staying aggressive here. Going to utilize those sentries to make those Marines just a little less effective. Here come a couple of those storms, as the High Templar are going to be vulnerable targets, but very, very useful. Nice little drop going to come in here at the third base, but oh yeah, look at all of these units here. It's a little stormy as well, and nobody brought their raincoats. So that should ultimately get picked up. 5 workers end up going down. Limiting the amount of damage that they possibly can. Seems like Trap is doing enough, at least, to keep keep his opponent from dealing any major economic damage here. But the transition is back behind. GUMIHO getting some Ghost production going. He's got Ghost 3 at a time right now. Advanced Shockwave's going to be researched, about halfway done. If Trap starts to move into additional High Templar or even Archon play, those EMPs are going to be critical for GUMIHO's army. Now we start to see what is actually a 5th base being built on location. 4th base is going up to the 12 o'clock position on the map. And unit count is rather close here. Oh yeah, losing out on those High Templar. They were caught out of position, but that is an unfortunate situation here. Advanced Shockwaves. Enhanced Shockwaves, rather. Just now finishing up, so Ghosts are going to have more useful EMP. Oh, there's just a random... Oh, okay. Huh? All part of the plan here for Trap, I guess. Right now, though, Trap's going to take advantage of the opportunity on the left-hand side, but is this army going to get tagged? A chunk of it does. But I mean, most of Trap's armies over here on the right-hand side of the map, there are a few High Templar that are going to be able to use some storms, but vulnerable units are just not available to be assisted here. So this is going to be a lot of damage here. Big warpins of Stalkers, as now the army of Trap is going to reconvene, and GUMIHO has to be careful here. He's lost a lot of army supply, and Trap is spiritually maxed out right now. He needs to be able to back off here, and he is going to try and stim away, but these blinks forward are going to be oppressive as he picks off more and more valuable units. This command center is not morphed into anything defensive, so right now that 5th base at the 3 o'clock position is rather exposed, and Trap now has the opportunity to try and cut this army off. The army has been split in 2, and I don't think there's quite enough on the left-hand side to really be able to divide this army in half, but the Ghosts are going to come in here. Advanced EMPs on top of the vulnerable Colossi, and the Colossi are still going to get additional damage done, but I think there might just be enough bio. I think Trap has done it, though. He's killed off enough of the forces here. At least he can get out and try and salvage the situation here. 19 workers off the head as well is an incredible amount of damage. Here come the reinforcing Zealots. Enough Zealots here could be the tipping force, as there isn't a lot of bio left, as this 3rd base has been toppled. Oh, Trap just playing a little bit cautiously here. He doesn't know what lives up at the top of the ramp. And actually, this is Trap's moment here. +3 infantry weapons just now being finished. That 4th base has not been scouted out yet in that 3 o'clock position, but I don't know if that's actually going to matter here. These Stalkers are going to try and find some more lethal damage against his opponent. Trap up a decent amount of army supply here. 176 to 127 overall, but it's 100 army supply to GUMIHO's 77, and it feels like GUMIHO has to protect in a lot of different locations at once. A giant blink forward here does take out the center and is really complicating things for the Korean Terran here. Trap looking to try and get up 1-0 in the series. The disruptor shot doesn't quite land, but here come the aggressive warpins, as +3 ground weapons are now available for Trap, who is able to stay 50 army supply ahead as he continues to topple over his opponent. GG is called, and Trap taking game number 1 in this qualifying match, best of 3. What a good game for Trap. Absolutely. Trap's been playing very well. I mean, Trap's made some comments in the past couple of months about his ability to win games, and I think he has been underselling his own ability level. I mean, Trap's obviously a top-tier Protoss player. Will be recognized as one of the greatest Protoss players in the game, for sure. He's been making very public comments lately about how, yeah, I'm just not going to win because I play Protoss. What's that? Win GSL Season 1? Nah, because I'm playing Protoss. But it seems as if his day is finally coming. At least in the short term. Long term, his day came a long time ago. Yeah, Trap is an outstanding Protoss player. I don't think there's a single person that would dispute that. So here in game number 2, I mean, Trap played a really nice, solid macro game against his opponent. Where does it go from here? That's the reality. Oh, is he going to be able to get away from the Reaper? It's possible. Whoa. It's the probe that lived. But anyways, like I was saying, so many of you have managed to hit the follow button today, and we really do appreciate it. We actually, right before this stream began, right before I started streaming tonight, finally got the probe. We crossed 16,000 followers. 16,000 people watching beautiful StarCraft 2 matches take place in our organization. And I cannot say thank you enough for all of the people that work here at AlphaX. Really do appreciate the support. We love bringing you quality content. Hopefully you check out our YouTube. Got all sorts of great stuff happening out there. And it's just a big thank you. And we got 360 people tuning in tonight for some old Rushi guy. Well, okay, the players too. But I'm here. I'm happening. I'm with it. Kind of blink timing here out of the Trap. Going right into fast blink. This isn't a bad map to do it in. I mean, if he can get down on the low ground, you just blink up and really, really punish GUMIHO for playing anything but aggressive. It seems like right now it's going to be 2 barracks. This feels like a pretty stock standard timing. Although I wouldn't be surprised. The medevac's already in production, so that's more than likely going to move across the map in a quicker fashion than normal. So this still could be aggressive enough. Yeah, we got do have a tech left, so that's gonna harbor stim pack opportunity for GUMIHO. All right, it's a mine drop. Gonna be moving across. Third base comes down here for Trap as well. Oh, actually, this is gonna intercept kind of well here. There's probe. Okay, we're just gonna put a pylon super far forward. I mean, it's entirely possible. Seems like that might be the case, or it could just be spotting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, that's a hero pylon right there. Very, very good coverage here. Worker pull is going to be strong enough. Limited amount of damage here. A couple of workers go down on both sides. That means the probe on the opposite side of the map will also be sacrificed for the good of the cause. And mine's going to try and reposition itself, but I don't think that's going to end up being effective. Not nearly enough so. Ultimately, I mean, it ends up being an okay trade for Trap. But not really a large amount changed in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, here comes the blink though. I mean, this is where memes become dreams. All the units caught at the front side. There is a tank up on the high ground. I think that does make things a little bit more problematic for Trap. He's not going to be able to push on too far forward. Yeah, it's going to force a recall as GUMIHO now has the means of damage, but does not take advantage of it. Trap did pull a few of those workers, but not going to lose any of them at this point. And he definitely wants to hold on to his advantage here. He's got a 15 worker advantage over his opponent. He just needs to be able to hang on to it. But GUMIHO is going to be out for blood here, starting to move forward with his push. He has the Marines in a couple of different locations. If he can group up all of his army, that is a bit of a potent force here. 41 to 30 army supply. Trap is up 15 workers still and almost an entire mineral line. But is he going to have enough to deal with the tanks? Charge only just now getting started up, so these stalkers are going to have to pick off as many Marines as humanly possible before they ultimately blink away. But is it going to be enough? It's not an insane amount of damage here for the blue Protoss player as the tanks are going to start trying to get into position, but the Immortal starting to work out its name in blood here. A nice little surround on the right-hand side with those Stalkers. Reinforcements on the left as well, and that's going to push GUMIHO back here. Trap in a really, really good position. He's actually putting a lot of damage onto this forward army here. GUMIHO can't afford to step back, but he also can't afford to lose this as well. A nice Guardian Shield keeps everything alive, and Trap has done it. He advances on to the main event next week. 2-0 over GUMIHO. He sends him down to the bottom side of the bracket.